Are you thinking about to start a business in physiological testing and performance testing for athletes, but you don't know yet exactly where to start or what the exact workflow is going to be? Then we got something for you. Or if you do that already, if you do physiological testing, but you're not 100% sure you have the best workflow and all the business aspects figured out, then this video might also be for you. Or if you're doing coaching, if your primary business is coaching, and you have two demands, maybe increasing customer retention, because truth be told, customer retention in coaching, that is one of a tough nut to crack, right? People might leave a coach during the winter times. Acquiring more athletes is difficult, cost time, and likely not the most like things that you want to do. Then we also have something for you. Or if you want to upsell existing clients in your coaching business, then this video is for you. If you feel like any of those situations relates to your situation, starting testing from scratch, improving your current procedure of performance testing in athletes, or how to use performance testing as an additional revenue stream and increased customer retention in your coaching business, then listen. So what I'm going to talk about here and what I would like you to provide you with is a handout and information with the best workflow, how to integrate testing into your business, into your coaching business, into your new business, whatever it is. Okay, this workflow has been modified, fine-tuned for more than a decade and is used by hundreds of human performance labs and coaches across the globe. So I will outline the few most crucial steps, and if you want to take a deeper dive, then you can find that in the notes here. You can download the handout with all the crucial information for free, no questions asked. So step one is about communication. One of the most common issues is to think about that testing starts with the test itself. The onboarding of your onboarding of your athletes actually starts in your first communication on social media, on your website, on emails you send out, handout flyers, a booth at a local race, whatever you have. This is where the first point of contact happens. This is where the onboarding starts. And one of the most common issues that we do see is that people talk too much about the test and too much about the metrics. Often communication is going too much in the direction of explaining physiological data, explaining VO2max, explaining threshold and fat combustion. And that's all information you might want to have on your website, on your handouts, wherever. Also to show your expertise and your knowledge in this field. But this should not be on the main communication where you try to communicate and deliver the message of the importance of testing. This message is all about your athlete. It's all about what the athlete gets from such an assessment. And this is what the athlete is looking for: improved performance. Oversimplified speaking, you could basically say the athlete is actually not caring so much about the numbers. Most athletes don't. At the end, they care about reaching their goal, which is improved performance, run a certain distance in a certain time, finish their first Ironman, marathon, whatever it is, okay? So this is what the communication should be about. Talk about the outcome, the value of the test. This is how you communicate. And if you feel like you need to convince athletes or make them aware of the importance of testing, then explain how it works in other fields. In other fields, if an athlete, if somebody is looking for consultancy, for improvement, they first expect some kind of assessment. Either it's at your physiotherapist, it's in financial consulting, if it's a psychologist, if it's a garage where you bring your broken car, whatever it is, you first expect somebody to examine, to dive into the problem, dive into the data, understand the situation, what we're looking at before coming up with a strategy or plan how to improve things. And that's exactly the same in coaching and creating training programs. First understanding what is the situation, what are we looking at, and then make a plan. And that includes understanding the athlete from a physiological, biological point of view. What is the current training status of the athlete? Where can the athlete improve the most, the fastest to reach their goals? So that's step number one, the communication. Step number two is booking an appointment with you. So in a perfect scenario, this would be no touch from you. In a perfect scenario, there would be a link to your calendar to book an assessment with you, slide the credit card, pay up front, all is done. But that's not so easy. In order for your athlete, for your future customer to make this decision, two things need to happen. One thing is the value has to be clearly communicated. It has to be high value, meaning there must be high motivation for your customer to book. This goes back to the communication piece, which I just explained, partly. The other part of the value, showcase the customer, your potential customer, your future athlete, what they will get. Explain how the test is going to look like, what they're getting in terms of report, consultancy. So explain the offer, explain the procedure. That is increasing the value of what you're offering. The other thing that is very important, often overlooked, is decreasing the difficulty, decreasing the barriers to book something with you. And this is where you can do the most likely. Okay, think about it. You come to a website, you're interested in booking an appointment, interested in testing, getting a physiological assessment. Would you upfront slide the credit card and pay a company you have never seen before, never talked to? It's maybe unlikely. So you need to lower this barrier. How do you do that? Explain rescheduling, explain refunding, explain, what happens to this money. Use payment service like PayPal or Stripe, which offer, to cover the cost in case the service fails. So you need to increase the security for the potential customer so that they don't feel like their money is lost. Second, people buy from people, okay? You need to explain who you are, where you are, show your address, show a picture of you, everything that is trust building to understand, okay, I'm actually going to book something here with a real person, with a real business that really exists, okay? You can use third-party proof for that. Third-party proof can be testimonials, not made-up testimonials, real testimonials. People sense it, they can identify that. Put up some real testimonials where people say, yeah, I've been here for this testing, for this coaching, this has been great. Just put a real name and a city below that, for example, of this testimonial to increase more trust. The other thing bit, ask your existing customers, your existing athletes to rank you on Trustpilot, on Google, wheresoever. Put this next to your booking. Again, it's all about trust. You're basically asking someone to book an appointment with you. They've never seen you, they don't know who you are, they don't know what the test is, so you need to build trust, okay? You can also lower the barrier, same as lowering the difficulty, so to speak. You can lower the barrier by, for example, saying, if you're unsure if this testing is for you, book a 10-minute consultation with me, just to find out if this testing is for you. You can use the same automated booking tools like Calendly or others. They also handle the follow-up emails, they handle the payment. It's very easy to do. I'm going to put it here in the notes in your handout for this video so you can look it up. Very easy. Okay, so this way you describe the high value and you lower the difficulty, basically build trust, and therefore lower the barrier for people to sign up. Either alternatively, if it's not a full booking, a consultancy, like 10 minutes chat, 10 minutes phone call, just really quick, is this testing for you? This offers a possibility for people to get to know you. And additionally, or as an alternative, put a contact form in there and say, okay, if you're not sure if this testing is for you, you can contact me here. Some people don't want to jump on the phone, that's fine, it's a contact form, okay? So again, everything in detail in the handout here to this video, so you can look it up. Part 3, the testing itself. I don't really need to go into all the nitty-gritty details here. It's all there in the handout for you can download. Basically, you will find an entirely procedure from welcoming the athlete, from setting up the test locations like ergometers or treadmills or handheld lactate analyzers, whatever it is. We have the timing for you, so you can understand how much is the total time effort for the testing and what approximately the cost in consumables like lactate strips. Okay, you will see the total testing, the net testing time is about 30 minutes. At welcoming the athlete, a little bit of small talk, changing for the athlete, and showering afterwards, you will end up with like 45 to 50 minutes for the testing part. So that's part number 3. And finally now there's part number 4, which is the consultancy part, the part where you hand out the report, you show the data, you explain the data to your athlete. And this is where you really can make the wins. Let me explain. How this is happening: the test is finished. You can actually already enter the data parallel to running the test, or you can do it afterwards. In short, 3 to 5 minutes maximum, including data entry. 3 to 5 minutes is the time you need to get from the raw data to a complete metabolic profile in the dashboard, and you get a report with a click on a button. You can add some comments in the report, some individual text for the athlete. In total, less than 10 minutes. Basically, as you're going to read, as you're going to see in the manual, this can happen while the athlete is changing and showering. You prepare the data. So when the athlete comes back to you after the test, you have everything ready, including even the time to have an overview of the data so you understand already what's going on. Then you sit down with the athlete and you talk about the results. And again, similar to the communication in step 1, this is not primarily about the data. You can spend 10 to 15 minutes explaining in general what the athlete sees and what is the VO2 max value or threshold, that's fine, but you will see this general explanation about what is the VO2 max, what is the FatMax, what is LT1, so on and so forth, that's already automatically in the report. So if your athlete really wants to go and understand all the physiological data points, there's a pre-built explanation. They can go in there and read it. This is not what the meeting is about. The meeting, again, is all about the athlete. So after a short walkthrough through the metrics, it actually comes down to talking to the athlete about what's important for the athlete. So at this point, you know who the athlete is. You know, from looking them up to the information they sent when they booked with you, to what they explained to you and what you talked about during the test. You know what is the goal of the athlete. You now have the physiological data on the other hand, so you know which data point is important. Running economy, body fat, VO2 max, fat combustion, sparing carbohydrates, whatever it is. You can pinpoint now in the report the 2, 3, 4 most important metrics which drives the performance or change the performance of the athlete based on their goals. Finishing a marathon, running a faster 10K, doing their first Ironman triathlon or half distance, whatever it is, okay? And this is what the most part of your consultancy is about, to address and to explain these metrics which are important to that specific athlete for that specific goal. And now here's where the magic comes in. Normally, what you can do is you can say, oh yeah, a little bit lower body fat, a little bit better running economy, that would be great. But that's not tangible, and that does not really connect to what the athlete is interested in. So what you can do, you can take the existing assessment, the very test you just did, make a copy of that, and now you can modify that copy however you want. Decrease body fat, increase VO2 max, whatever it is, and show to the athlete in real time how this enables the athlete to reach their performance. So for example, if you know the athlete wants to run a specific time in a specific distance, have a certain power output, you can change the VLamax, VO2 max, whatever it is, of the test and show, okay, look, this is the VO2 max that you should have in order to reach your goal. Basically saying, I can guarantee you if you have this number, you will reach your goal. And now 2 things happen. One thing is, which is in short, the athlete wants to come back at a certain time. So the natural question is, okay, how long does this take? Which means, okay, I want to come back and I want to reassess and see that it happens. So it opens the door for you for retesting, for making an appointment and say, okay, in 3 months time, in 2 months time, in 4 months time, we can make an appointment. Business-wise, you can leverage that. You can say, look, if you book this right now, we can always change the date. If you book this right now, I give you whatever 20% discount because retest is faster. I'm happy to, give you a lower price for that. You can upsell on the spot. That is almost always the case, even for athletes who really don't want to be coached, who really enjoy being self-coached. However, in most cases, when you present this performance projection, which shows exactly, If you change this number, this allows you to reach your goal. In most cases, the question that comes from the athletes, okay, how do I do that? How can I achieve that? What do I need to do in training? How long does it take? And this is your opening. This is your opening. This is basically the athlete asking the trusted advisor, who you are, because you are the trusted guy who just ran this test on them. You are the guy who understands all these numbers, asking, how do I change it? And this is basically a training program. And this is how, again, hundreds of coaches and labs increase customer retention and get in new customers and basically say, look, I can help you with that. I can make your training program with that. Should we try that? And again, remember the model, the framework of you need to increase the value and lower the barrier. The value is already sky high. People understand I need to change that in order to reach my goal. This guy here next to me, from an athlete's point of view, this is a guy who can help me with that. How do I do that? So the motivation to buy is there. Now, what you can do, if you feel like you need to lower the barrier, you can package it up. You can say, look, for me, in my coaching, we do regular testing to see how it works. If you sign up for coaching support right now, we credit the prepaid test against it, lowering the barrier to entry, because they can basically sign up for a 6 months or 12 months or whatever coaching agreements you have without additional costs on the spot. And this is how you easily, and again, it's proven several times, how you easily pull new customers into your coaching and have, as a collateral, a very good start to the process, because you already know what you need to work with the guys. You already know what to improve, and your athlete has a high level of trust into you because you just showed how knowledgeable you are doing this test. So this is a framework which helped many coaches and many labs to get in more customers into the coaching, because initially they come in for testing only and then they transition into regular coaching. And of course, higher customer retention because they want to retest and see the progress, how they work their way towards their goal. If you want to double check on that, read all the details, get the handout, send it here. You can download the handouts. You can read the articles with like the step-by-step how to do the test on the specific day with all ticks and trips. Hope you liked that. See you next time.